What's going on, everybody? Today, I'm going to talk to you about the human battery. We're going to delve into science and spirituality at the same time. I'm going to teach you the science behind, or the spirituality behind science, and the spirituality about power consumption and draining of your power. So let's begin. What I want to talk about is how batteries work and how this relates to the human body. And what you're going to find out today is that we are no different from the batteries that we use in our electronics. This is where the idea of the battery came from. Okay. Um, the scientist like Nikola Tesla, he was, a very smart man who taught us a lot, and other scientists as well. So let's begin. So we have, for instance, a battery. Okay. And we all know from our past lessons that the atoms in our universe and inside these batteries is what powers them. You have a positive charge and you have a negative charge. Okay. Now, usually when you put your batteries in a electronic device, you put your positive on the positive side, it tells you, and you put your negative side on the spring coils. Okay. And so the spring coils are the negative, draining the battery. So when you put them in like your remote control or whatever, and this is how you'll put it in your electronic device. So how does this relate to the human body? Well, from our last lesson, I taught you about the divine trust and how we perform the trust fall, and we fall upside down, not literally falling, but how we incarnate here. So what does that mean? Well, while we're here in body, picture this battery as our body. Um, we are, let's say, let's just do it like this. Let's do it like that, and draw our draw ourselves here, and we'll do it like this. All right, so we've got our little makeshift battery man or woman. Okay, and let's just draw out the body parts here, the limbs, and now we've got ourselves our battery. All right. Now, what I want to talk about today is how this relates to the human body. Okay. Now, when we are we are incarnated in our human body, everything in this world is either charging us or draining us of our energy. And that's why we have to be careful what we direct our energy towards, who we give our energy to, and what activities we give our energy to. And while we're here on Earth, we can ground ourselves. Remember from my past lessons that um, this this symbol right here is an alchemical symbol for what? Earth. Okay, so when we're here in body, we can ground ourselves with the earth by taking our shoes off and letting our feet touch the ground. This is what grounds us, okay? And on while we're here on this earth. And what's powering our body? Like, why don't we have to plug ourselves in to recharge? Well, it's because we let ourselves rest, and when we're resting, our consciousness is actually going back up to our higher self. Okay. And our higher self, remember, descends from the sunlight, the sun power. So this is why I say that in ancient Egypt, they didn't worship the sun. They understood that their power, their life force came from the sun. Everything that grows on this planet comes from the sun's light. Okay? The our sun being a yellow sun is a life-giving light. So our higher self, the consciousness, and by the way, our consciousness is huge. It is huge, okay? You wouldn't be able to comprehend how big we really are outside of this body. You would be surprised how we can fit such a large uh, energy force inside of something so small. All right. So we are descending our consciousness, sending our consciousness down to earth from the sunlight. And while we're here, remember that what science taught us when we were in school. I think we learned this in high school or middle school. I can't remember. I think it was middle school. I learned it is that our eyes flip the image upside down. So what we see in our mind, the image is actually being flipped upside down or right side up for us, so we can see it while we're in body. So our eyes actually see things this way first actually see things this way first, and then our eyes super fast flip everything that we see right side up so that we can see things as we're incarnated in this body. So that's how you know we're already in the upside down, because everything that we see has to be flipped so our eyes can see things the way that we would see them as we are in body. Now, what's important to understand here is that while we're here on this walking this earth, let's just say that, this is the earth. While we're here walking the earth, everything around us, if we are not careful, if we don't balance ourselves, if we don't recharge ourselves, if we continue to give our energy away to things that don't serve us, we can end up getting consumed because it's negative energy, right? It's negative energy. And if you look around, there's a lot of negative energy on this earth. And if we aren't careful, we can end up becoming consumed by this darkness. And so what happens is we end up getting bound by the darkness and consumed, and our heart becomes dark, our mind becomes dark, and now our energy is getting drained, just straight up getting drained by the negative forces that negative energy that's actually coming from below. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. It's from the negative energy that's coming from below. And this is important to understand because this is like one of the oldest stories in history. You see, a long time ago, Kemet, it fell and it became Egypt. And what happened was the royal beings that once walked this earth and were walking this earth as almost like gods, they ended up getting corrupted by the darkness that came from below. And a lot of people are wondering, well, where did that darkness come from? Well, I don't I don't like talking about stuff like this too often because there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there, but I'll reference the Emerald Tablets. The Emerald Tablets actually tell us that a darkness came from below, and by man's ignorance, they called that darkness from below. And what does that mean? They called that darkness from the Stargate that used to exist, was active beneath the pyramids in Cairo, Egypt, what we now call Cairo, Egypt. Okay. the Stargate, something or someone came from below in that through that Stargate, and they were of dark energy, and they managed to come, these lower vibrational beings, souls or spirits, managed to come and corrupt the hearts of the men and women that walk this earth. And it drained them of their life force, and they did not live for as long as they could have lived. People, our lifespan actually got less. And right now it's happening still to this day, that people are dying from all sorts of diseases, accidents, crime, war, whatever. And it's because of the negative energy that continues to consume humanity and bind us. And it binds us like a serpent corrupting a rose. All right. So you can pretend that, this is like a flower. All right. Pretend that this is a flower, and, you could pretend that this is a rose here. And this darkness comes from below, and this darkness has people worshiping this upside down religion, upside down version of religion, and calling on this darkness from below without people even knowing it. And everyone is being corrupted by this negative energy still to this day. And our life force is being drained. Our energy is being drained every day. If you feel tired, extremely exhausted and tired, it's a great opportunity for you to, think about what you're giving your energy to. Who are you giving your energy to? Are you giving your energy to people that are just draining you of your time and your peace of mind? Is your heart becoming dark and no longer have high self-esteem? You no longer have the will or patience to get through the day? Are you having to self-medicate on toxic things that can also lower your vibration as well? These are the type of things to consider, because while we're here, our consciousness is being broadcast from the sunlight, and we're here walking this in this mortal body. But just like a battery, our energy is getting drained, and we have to come back and do this again and relive these karmic cycles. And I think that it's important that we kind of understand and recognize, the things that are happening to us and the things that are happening around us, because this stuff can really take a hold on us, and have a hold on us, because we end up, when we give our energy away to the wrong people, this goes back to our other lessons. We end up crucifying ourselves, crucifying ourselves without even realizing it, because we're giving our energy away to the wrong people, the wrong things, and we're not actually engaging in things that would recharge us, help us recreate ourselves. That's what recreation is supposed to be. Recreation is supposed to recreate ourselves. So we should be engaging in things that will help us rediscover who we are, and rediscover our power, and reconnect us with our source light. But while we're here, we're being distracted by so many things, and a lot of us are going through life in very, very dark times, where you'll sit there and wonder, like, why does God let these things happen to me? Why are these things happening to me? And it's similar to what the Bible says that Jesus said, right? Because remember when he was on the cross and he said, "Why have you forsaken me?" And this is the same, like a similar way to look at things, because we only think that we're disconnected because we're, like we talked about in the last video on trust fall. We're just becoming so consumed by darkness. Okay, and this darkness a long time ago, in the material sense, it came from the Stargate. That whatever came through that Stargate, it actually corrupted a lot of the people that were here. And this has happened so many times throughout time, throughout history, that a lot of people don't recognize that this was going on. And we have an opportunity to recognize what's going on in our life. And, we don't have to accept our circumstances. We can choose to change our circumstances. However, we don't have to go through it alone. We can actually choose to engage with our higher self, or we can, call on our angels for assistance, and we can call on our source light. And all it takes is for you to ask, for you to want it. Okay, literally, that's all it takes is for you to want it, and that is the first step. And we can begin by clearing out the negative energy that is consuming our heart. Okay, because this is how we can begin to balance ourselves. Balance, because it's like a tug of war that goes on inside these batteries. It's like a battle that goes on between with the positive and negative charges. And when you don't recharge your batteries, the energy just continues to get drained out, and you shed the vessel, right? You shed the batteries and you get new batteries. The same thing is happening to our human body. Our body is getting drained by negative energy, and it's stressing us out. It's causing so much stress in our lives that we get gray hair, we start to age faster, we start feeling internal pains and things like that, and we're consuming things that are not of high vibration. And whether that's food, smoking, drinking, pills, junk food, overindulgence in that stuff, it really corrupts the body, and it corrupts the soul, corrupts the light that is trying to walk this earth in balance. And we we definitely have an opportunity to, all we have to do is recognize what's happening to us, and we can choose to walk in balance. And that's how you can walk in power. Walking in power is balancing yourself, balancing that negative energy, balancing your positive energy, recharging yourself by taking time for yourself. You can't, if you're the type of person that likes to take care of other people, or because of your circumstances you have to take care of other people, you can't be of any benefit to others if you do not take care of yourself. You can't be your best self, is what I'm trying to say. You can't be your best self for others if you don't take care of yourself first. Okay. So it's important for you to take time for yourself, and don't feel bad. Don't think it's selfish. No, you have to take time for yourself, because if you expect to be able to be the best version of yourself for others, you have to take time for yourself. That means you have to recharge. And how can you recharge? Well, you can start by bringing Christ into your life. And when I say Christ, I mean the Christ consciousness. And what does that mean to live in the Christ consciousness? Having love, empathy, sympathy, and compassion for yourself and others. Be easy on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. It's okay, because while we're here, we're human, and we are literally being consumed by this negative energy. And we wake up every day, and it's important for us to remember who we are, and remember that there are demons that are coming from below that are literally jumping into our bodies and consuming us and corrupting our consciousness, corrupting our heart. And if you feel like, you have thoughts in your mind that just seem dark, those aren't your thoughts. It's okay. Just get them out of your mind, and focus on things that put you in your happy place. Okay. Because that's what's very important, that's what's most important, is to focus on things that put you in your happy place. Recreation, when you recharge, it's not just going sitting by the pool and making TikTok videos and uh, drinking margaritas and stuff like that. Recharging means doing something that teaches you something new about yourself. Um, what will you discover that maybe you have a secret gift you didn't know you had? Try to enlighten your mind on something that will teach you something, and try not to fall down rabbit holes though. Try not to fall down rabbit holes, but recharge your mind, recharge your spirit, and how you can also help manage the negative energy that consumes you is by eating healthier. And I know eating healthy is one of the hardest things for especially Americans to do, because when you're Americans are surrounded by nothing but what I like to call forbidden fruit, right? Just imagine in the Bible, it talked about how how God told Adam and Eve, you can eat whatever you want from whatever tree you want, but don't eat from this tree. And that tree was like the forbidden fruit. And that tree was the forbidden fruit of knowledge, because they knew they were naked. Because what people don't realize was that Adam and Eve, that specific version of Adam and Eve, they were created to be slaves for the extraterrestrial that came to this planet. And so they came across the knowledge that they were naked and that they were not being treated as humans. And so they covered themselves up when the quote unquote God came, and he was like, "Who told you were naked?" You know what I mean? So that's when he got mad and was like, now they will be like us and all that stuff. And so uh, if you think about today, everything around us, that forbidden fruit tree is what multiplied, and the tree that we should be eating from has become more expensive, right? The fruit, the vegetables, all that stuff we should be eating from became more expensive, and it's been contaminated by pesticides and things like that. And so we have to be very careful when we eat vegetables. We have to make sure we're washing them very well and washing those pesticides off, because that stuff can cause allergic reactions to people and they don't even realize it. We have to make sure that we're consuming live energy as much as possible. When we eat meat, of red meat and even chicken, I know chicken is good. I love meat myself, but I've myself have had to cut out meat because it really does lower our vibration. And what I found personally for me is that I'm able to stay in my happy place and stay balanced and not let negative things affect me, because I don't consume that negative food that brings my vibration down and gives me inflammation and it makes me tired and stuff like that. And so when I consume live energy like fresh vegetables, I find it easier for me to stay energized to do things. Even if I don't feel like doing something, I still have the energy to get through it. My mind is clear, and my mind is clearer to be able to handle heavy thought intensive tasks and things like that. So this is something I wanted to share with you, because this will help us bloom like a lotus flower, right? And it'll help us bloom and break free of the darkness that tries to consume us, and it keeps us in balance. So this is like being in balance with your shadow. Okay, we want to be in balance with your shadow, be in balance with the negative energy that consumes a body while we are here incarnated as humans. Okay, because we are all being drained of our energy every day, and the negative energy is being projected on us by what some people call the all-seeing eye. That negative energy is being projected on us by people that control currency. All we care about is material wealth and currency, and that is powering the negative forces so they can stay in power. So they can stay in power. This This is what people like to call conspiracy theorists. They'll call them the Illuminati and stuff like that. And, like these guys just, it's secret societies, man. Freemasons is what I like to just call them. They're Freemasons. And they want to act like they're not, doing anything like that. But when you make it up to a certain level in Freemasons, you start to learn secrets, and um, you make exchanges. You start to give up certain things and keep secrets. And I don't believe in keeping these secrets from humanity, because it's doing nothing but drain us of our power and force people to come back. And what I hope you understand is that our bodies are vessels, containers for our life force, for our conscience to come here and walk this earth, but our energy is being drained. So it's important that we shine the light on the darkness. It's important that we shine the flashlight on them. Shine the light on them. Shine the light on them. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to shine that flashlight on them, because now we're recharging. We're going to recharge ourselves. And when we do that, we shine the light on the darkness. We're going within and going deep within ourselves, and we shine the light on the darkness that's causing us the chaos in our life. And it's important that we do this, because it will help us master ourselves and master our life and master the chaos that seems to consume us in life. Okay. So what you'll see here is this is just the basic, science or spiritual aspect of how energy is being used in this world today, and how we can choose to go about life, and decide to take control of our life and break out of this matrix, break out of the story that we were told to live in. And we can choose to say, no, no more. We're not gonna take it. No, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. All right. So yeah, we're gonna ring the bell on them. I hope this rings a bell inside you, and you realize that you all are angels of light, and you're all being consumed by dark energy that's draining you of your light. And honestly, I was thinking about this today, just a few minutes ago, and I didn't know how this was going to go. So I decided to just get the camera and record this, and, freestyle this and see how this goes, because I was able to see for myself that we are getting our energy drained every day, listening and consuming stuff that just drains us of our energy. And it's like the Excalibur, with King Arthur. If you're someone that resonates with that culture, I don't know what is that. European, I guess European, right? If you resonate with the European culture, the King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, right? The Excalibur, and only the chosen one can remove that sword from the stone, and that stone is our pineal gland, our heart, right? Our pineal gland up here. And if you can remove that sword from your consciousness, then you will be free from the being nailed to the cross. Be free in your consciousness. The Christ consciousness will be free to actually expand to and connect back to your source light. So I just hope that this was clear for y'all, because this right now, as long as this stake is in our mind, and we are told to obey, we're just going to be zombies walking through life, thinking that life is supposed to be one way, and we're only seeing things from the left mind point of view, and we're not seeing things from the left and the right. Okay, the left side is the analytical. All right, analytical side, and yeah, I can't spell that well. Analytical side, and this is the sympathetic, empathetic side, spiritual side, where dreams are made of. And this is the logical. So, there are a lot of people out there where if it doesn't make left brain sense to them, they don't believe in it. And that's because they're only using one side of their brain. So let's think about that for a second. They're only using one side of their brain. And you've heard that saying where they say humanity only uses 10% of their brain. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Because we were taught to only look at our universe from one side. We weren't taught to actually use the left and the right and look at things that way. But this is what I'm teaching you, is I'm teaching you to use your left and your right side of your brain, because then you get a bigger, or more accurate way to say it is you'll get a more complete picture, okay? And this is our consciousness coming down and beaming that light down to us from above, from heaven. And there are many levels of heaven, by the way, many levels of heaven. So don't think that there's not a place for you in heaven. We all came from heaven in the first place. Okay? So that's one. That's the first thing I want you to understand, is that we all came from heaven. And there's a heaven for everyone there's a heaven for everyone. And I don't want you to think that you're not good enough for God's grace, to receive God's mercy. Everyone on this planet is worthy of God's mercy. Okay? So don't think that you are not meant to be special, meant to be great. We are all meant to be great. We just have to wake up and realize that. And you see that when we wake up and realize that, this is what it means when this is a true resurrection of Christ. The true resurrection of Christ. Okay? Because when he came back, remember they said he looked different. He did look different, So I want you all to know that, every single one of you are special, and we all have been having our energy drained from us. And we just have to make sure that we're careful of who we give our energy to. We have to make sure that we're careful of what we give our energy to. If you're consuming so much stuff on social media that's, not helping you, is low vibrational stuff on social media, is going to corrupt your mind. It's going to cloud your mind. You're going to have a clouded perspective of life. Social media has people thinking that the grass is always greener on the other side. And so, it's really messing up relationships. So you have people that are supposed to be in relationship with someone, but they're on social media and they see how people are living, and they want that life, but they don't see how that person got that life, how they got there in the first place. What did they do? What did they have to sacrifice to even get there? And you've got men and women seeking attention from strangers, from other people on social media, instead of seeking and seeking attention for themselves, giving themselves attention, seeking attention for other people, doing things on social media for clout, for attention, and for 15 minutes of satisfaction. And it's like, what are you going to do after you got what you wanted? What did that do for you? Right? So we have to ask ourselves, what are we really doing here? Is this how I want my life to be? Is this how, if the world was to end today, would I be happy on how I went about my life? Did I give it everything I had? Did I find out everything that I wanted to find out about myself? The things that I imagined, that I fantasized about, what did I do to actually work towards those dreams? And that's what I want to kind of, I want to, I want to stress that, for everybody, this is our opportunity to wake up, snap out of the spell that we've been put under, because that negative energy is being force fed into our mouths since we are children. It's being force fed into our mouths since we are children. And, you know, think about it like this. You think about it like the spoon. It's being spoon fed to us. And we have to decide to wake up. You notice I'm using the symbols of ancient Egypt, and I'm expanding on those symbols. I'm showing you how to use those symbols. I'm showing you how to use those symbols. These symbols are keys. Keys. You could put them here, and it makes half the face. These symbols are keys, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here to help you snap out of the spell and the trance that you're in. And I want you to wake up to your reality. Because no matter how you do it, how you flip it, these symbols are keys. You have the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra. Same thing, but both positioned in different ways, okay? If you watched this video to this point, I really hope that you gained some new knowledge to help you. And so you can, expel the darkness that is being fed into your mind, that is clouding your mind. And I hope that this helps clear up some of the things that you've been battling. And I want you to know that you have the power to take control of your life. Like Captain Planet used to say, the power is yours. I love you all. Flame on to infinity and beyond.